Hey guys, welcome back into the Stokastic YouTube channel. My name's Geoff Ulrich, and in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit of no house advantage Monday Night Football for Week 17. Yeah, it's second last regular season week here for the NFL season, and we're going to be talking no house advantage, like I said. So smash that like button, subscribe to the Stokastic YouTube channel, guys, if you haven't done that already. And if you are new to no house advantage, there's a couple different ways that you can play on the site. In this video, we're going to be talking mainly about the Pick'em contest. So we're taking props from across the site, we're putting them into a lineup, assigning different values to all those props, and then putting them in a big contest to play against other people for big prizes. And for this Monday night, we got a 20K guaranteed, 10K to first contest up on site. And guys, Notice Advantage, they're bringing big contests for almost all the primetime slates, not just for football, but there's big contests for NBA as well. So it's a great time to check out the site. You can use promo code Stokastic right now for a $100 free match deposit bonus if you're new to the site. That's promo code Stokastic if you're new to the site. Free $100 match deposit bonus right off the top. Great way to build the bankroll. Great way to just try out the site as well. So take advantage of that now. You never know how long these bonus offers are there. And again, there is a couple different ways to play on Notice Advantage. There's also the versus the house contest. We often have content up there on the Odd Shopper YouTube channel as well. And that's where you're just creating your own parlay style multiplier tickets, taking props up, putting them 2, 3, 4, 5 together on a ticket, and, you know, playing for different prize amounts as well. Typically, those multipliers go up as the tickets get bigger. But again, we're going to be talking about the Pick'em contest here, and we're going to be talking about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills for this game. So let's dive into it now. You can, again, one last thing, we can find free projections for Notice Advantage on Stokastic.com. We're going to be leaning them on them for this game like we normally do too. So you can check those out after you're done watching this video. But like I said, let's get into it. We got the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Buffalo Bills as the road team here. 1.5 spread, really projected for a really close game. Obviously, the Bills are slight favorites. We got a 49.5 point total here, so we're expecting some points, as we should be. Two of the best teams in the league, two of the best quarterbacks in the league, two of the best everythings in the league pretty much as well. Head coaches, offenses, I should say, all that good stuff. Really good production here. No major injuries to talk about either, so should be a very interesting game. And again, we're going to rely on some of these projections from Stokastic to get us started here. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills side, and let's start with a guy in Dawson, Knox here. I mentioned that the Bills pretty much healthy across the board here. They've got a matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have improved a lot against the tight end position this year. This was an area that really gave them trouble last year, allowed a ton of receptions, but they're about league average in terms of receptions allowed here. Dawson Knox at a 35.5 receiving yardage total for this game. I'm going to take the under on this one. Knox has gone over this in 4 straight games, but we have this projected as a very solid under here. One of our top plays. This would be more of a higher point play for the Pick'em contest for us. And again, you look at Knox, yes, he's definitely got over in a few straight games. So, you know, from a recent form perspective, you could say, yeah, he's getting targets, Jeff. He's getting a few more downfield looks. But I'm not necessarily that this is going to last. I mean, you still got Steph Diggs out there against the secondary. That's, you know, without its top corner and Chidobe Awuzie. It's got some very beatable matchups there for Steph Diggs on the outside. So got Gabe Davis running around out there, Isaiah McKenzie. I think you're probably going to see a little bit of a shift back to those wide receivers. I like the under here on Knox as well. Definitely in line with the projections on this one. This is just a big yardage total as well. If you were buying low on Knox the last few weeks, that's good. I think it's probably time to sell high. Okay, let's go to Steph Diggs for our second prop because, like I said, I do like this matchup for him. What we have seen from the Cincinnati Bengals the last couple weeks, they will give up receptions to the wide receiver position. Now, they're very good at limiting teams in the red zone, but I think it's a really good spot for Steph Diggs. 5.5 reception total. I think it's a bit of a too low prop. I like the over here as well. Projections have this as another fairly high point play. I think you're going to see Steph Diggs be a very pivotal part of this game. Again, very gettable matchup for him, in my opinion, against a Cincinnati Bengals secondary that very complex schemes for Cincinnati back there, but not necessarily a ton of talent. And that often leads to big plays for some wide receivers. I think what you've seen from Diggs too, this reception prop has come down a little bit from him. We've seen Steph Diggs with 6.5, 7.5 props across the year, but he's had a couple slow games now in a row. And again, we're getting a 5.5 prop here. I think it's definitely time to take advantage. Again, the Bengals, you know, allowing 6 receptions, 100 yards to Kendrick Bourne last week. They allowed some big games to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. I think it's a fine matchup for Steph Diggs. I think the Bengals offense is going to put some pressure on the Bills to pass as well. So all things here look good for Steph Diggs. 5.5 receptions. I like the over on Diggs receptions a little bit more than the yards, so you could always look to do both. But receptions here for Diggs looks good. I think he's going to get a high target game. You're probably going to see him bounce back with a decent fantasy performance as well. Okay, let's go to the other side of the ball. Obviously, two great offenses to talk about. Got to talk about the Bengals a little bit too. Let's talk about T. Higgins here. He's got a 5.5 reception prop as well, but it's just a completely different situation for T. Higgins. He's not necessarily the #1 option in his offense. We've seen Jamar Chase just eat up targets since he's come back from injury. Double-digit targets for Chase in each of his last 3 games. T. Higgins with a 5.5 reception prop. This is actually projecting as a very strong fade for us. Now, again, his receiving yardage prop is also something you could fade, but the reception prop definitely projecting as a higher point play for us. And that's where I would rather go, is fade the 5.5 receptions with T. Higgins. This is a tough matchup. You know, Tre'Davious White is back there for the Buffalo Bills. They've been a little bit better in just limiting opportunities for the wide receiver position over the last couple games as well. Did give them trouble a little bit in season. Some of these, they allowed a few big passing games, but lately with White back, they've been more shut down. And you also have to factor in Hayden Hurst is now back for the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. Hurst is definitely a part of this passing offense, even if it only means 3 or 4 targets or 3 or 4 receptions. Those are probably going to come from guys like T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. They're probably not necessarily going to come from Jamar Chase. So T. Higgins at under 5.5 receptions. Prop we like. I like this one as well. Nothing against T. Higgins. He could still go for like 4 or 80 here or even score a touchdown, but that's pretty big volume we're asking him to get here for this game. So let's do one more Bengals prop, and just like the Bills, we'll go 1 over, 1 under, 1 over. And we're going to go over in the rush game here with Joe Mixon at 50.5. Now, Mixon's really interesting. You know, he's a player who kind of like ebbs and flows. I mean, he can definitely give us a big game, but he can also disappear pretty quickly and not pile up the rush yardage. But I do like this matchup here for him. What you've seen from the Bengals too is the Bengals typically just run the ball more when they're at home. They're a little bit slower paced team when they're at home, and they like to get Mixon more involved. Joe Mixon at home this year averaging 4.3 yards per carry, which is almost a full yard more than what he's averaged on the road. And he's also averaged 90 yards rushing per game at home here. So I think what you'll see from the Bengals, possibly a little bit more conservative approach than people are expecting. I'm not expecting them necessarily to come out and pass the ball a ton to start the game, at least. They may have to do that eventually, but you know, the Bills, like I said, they're fully healthy now in the secondary. It's a tough secondary to throw against, but on the ground, you can have them. Raheem Mostert, 136 yards 2 weeks ago. Even David Montgomery, with a bad Bears O-line, 62 yards. So we only need Joe Mixon here to get 50.5 yards. Like I said, he's been smashing this prop when he's been at home. Let's go over Joe Mixon to finish up here, 50.5 rushing yards. Okay, let's do a quick recap here, guys. We're going to go Dawson Knox under 35.5 receiving yards. We're going to go Steph Diggs over 5.5 receptions, like that one. T. Higgins under 5.5 receptions. And we're going to go Joe Mixon over 50.5 rush yards. Like I said, at home, Bengals typically just use Mixon a little bit more and just more effectively as well. So it's going to be our 4 main props, guys. Like I said, if you could smash that like button, subscribe to the Stokastic YouTube channel, that'd be awesome. And there's also free projections for Noah's Advantage over on Stokastic.com. You can check that out after you're done watching this video. If you're new to Noah's Advantage, don't forget, promo code Stokastic, $100 free match deposit bonus right off the top. Most important thing, guys, have yourselves a great Monday Night Football. My name is Geoff Ulrich. We'll talk again soon.